I think we're ready to start. Start almost on time. So thanks for being here. This is our session this afternoon with content creators. And I want to welcome you all on behalf of USA JPA. My name is Stacey DeRoche, and I'm the president of the Minnesota Jigsaw Puzzle Association. So I'm here to also encourage you to join your local Jigsaw Puzzle associations as well as USA JPA. And so our format today is going to be, we're going to, all of these awesome women are going to talk about their content, and then hopefully we'll have a few minutes left for questions at the end. So yeah, okay, I've already got people with questions. So I think right now what I'm going to ask is, starting with Ashley, if we can have you introduce yourself, talk a little bit about what platform you use for your content creation, and then if you can let us know what inspired you to start creating puzzle content.
Okay. Hi everybody. My name is Ashley. Yeah, I think it's working. My name is Ashley. I stream jigsaw puzzles, among other things, on Twitch. I started speed jigsaw puzzling, I want to say 2 years ago. And last year I had the pleasure of meeting some other Twitch puzzlers at Ohio State, and they convinced me to start streaming, and now I stream jigsaw puzzles usually about twice a week.
Hello everyone, I'm Jessa, aka Jigsaw Jessa. I'm mainly on Instagram. I did start a TikTok, I'm not on there. I'm just gonna put my videos from Instagram over there. What inspired me? I have puzzled my whole life. I went through about a decade where I didn't puzzle. It was a very rough period in my life, and I happened upon one of these lovely ladies' YouTube videos that we all happen upon, and Karen Puzzles, and I was like, oh my word, people are doing this, and I was inspired to go to Goodwill, get a thrift store puzzle, and it kind of just spiraled, and then I was doing a puzzle over the holidays, and I was like, you know what, I should have a puzzle account just to document my puzzles that I'm doing. No thought whatsoever about content creation. That was not me. And I joined Puzzlegram, immediately found the puzzle community, became friends with so many people, and was inspired to make content just for fun, and it has turned into something more than I could ever imagine. I'm so grateful for it.
Hi, I'm Emily, also known as the Casual Puzzler on YouTube and Instagram. And I have always been a puzzler. I grew up without electricity, so that's what I did. And then in 2021, I was in school full-time, was working full-time, was exhausted, but I wanted to put what I was learning into something that I like to do. So I ended up making my YouTube channel just as an educational piece, and did not know that world existed outside of my living room. Didn't know who Karen was, never watched a video, but I just did it because I wanted to learn and have fun with it, and I found a whole bunch of other people who did the same thing, and it's awesome, so I just kept going on.
I'm Karen. So I have been on YouTube since 2008, so super early on. I've basically been on social media that whole time, so I've seen lots of different apps and different styles come into play. Pretty much every job I've had has been somehow connected to YouTube and social media. But back in 2018, I was feeling really burnt out from the other videos that I used to make, which was DIY and crafting. And I thought I had some interesting things to say about jigsaw puzzles, like tips for how to do them and reviews of modern puzzles. So I started making puzzle videos, and it's really grown from there.
Just a little bit.
Mine might just be disconnected.
Patience, thank you.
All right, so we're gonna reverse again, and we're gonna ask Karen to, we'll go from Karen to Ashley.
let's see. What do you hope your channels will accomplish?
You know, I just want to spread the love of puzzling. I mean, I feel like I have a few different verticals, if you want to use the official word, of content that I make even within puzzling. So what I really love is researching vintage puzzles, and so through that, I feel like my channel is sort of a virtual museum where not everybody can solve these, kind of rare puzzles that I've managed to track down, but I can show you every single detail of the product and then the process of solving it. And then kind of similarly, I feel like with speed puzzling, a lot of the videos that I make are sort of in real time documenting the modern rise of this hobby. And so, when there's another Karen Puzzles 50 years from now who's looking back at this time, I hope that what I'm making can then be, sort of the official record of what happened.
I feel like my channel kind of speaks for itself with just the casual puzzler. I want puzzles to be very accessible to anybody. I'm not speedy, I try to be, but a lot of people it's not in their wheelhouse to be speedy. They just want to sit in their living room and have fun, and maybe they can't do a 1,000-piece puzzle because maybe they have dexterity issues, or it's too challenging, or they're a new puzzler and it's intimidating. So I want my place to be a place where people can just come, watch someone just chill in my living room, and be inspired to at least start puzzling if they haven't already, or if they gave up the hobby, because for me I have RA, I have rheumatoid arthritis, so some days I can't pick up 1,000-piece puzzle pieces. And so to be able to normalize 300-piece puzzles that are huge pieces is really inspiring. And people are like, I've stopped puzzling, but I want to try it again. So that's
That's a great question. I first and foremost wanted to inspire the joy of puzzling, whether you're fast or slow or do small piece counts or large piece counts. But then also I think for me, as I'm a mom of 3 kids, to remind people that it's okay to do stuff for yourself. It's okay to find a long lost hobby and start it up again, even if it's 10 years in between. Sorry, I'm such an emotional person. I'm fine. Just to encourage people to, whether it's puzzles or volleyball or some sport or getting out on walks, to do something for yourself. It's not selfish. It's going to better yourself so you can be a better person and a better friend, better mom, all the good things. And then one more thing, I really love art, and I'm not a fan of AI, and so I think puzzles really can celebrate that. And so the more we can celebrate real artists and the work that they make and put them together piece by piece, the more art and love that we can share with each other.
So I'm on Twitch. I do live streaming primarily, and that's a bit different than the other platforms in that it's live. So it's kind of just like all of us hanging out together doing puzzles. A lot of the time people are watching my stream, but they're also doing a puzzle or they're co-working or doing whatever. So it's kind of more like a casual hanging out type of thing. Even when I'm speed puzzling, a lot of people just like to watch and, I'm not gonna say I'm really fast, but I'm kind of fast. So people like to watch me and be like, oh, how do you do that puzzle? Like, how can I improve and get better? And like, sometimes I'll do casual puzzles where it's more like hanging out and I get to chat and interact with people. And we have a small community, but we have enough people at this point that there's usually someone streaming like at any time of the day. So we call it Puzzle TV. So we just watch each other's streams all day and just hang out with each other, and it's really fun. So
You answered the next question, but I'm gonna she's ahead. This is what happens when they read them ahead of time. but it's a great a topic. So I'm gonna press you on it a little bit. So what do you think was what attracted you to do the puzzle, to live stream as opposed to do some of the other things?
Well, I'm not going to pretend like I was the first one to think of this, because I'm kind of late to the Twitch game, if I'm being honest, but I saw that other people were doing it, and I was having a great time like watching their streams and doing it, and I was like, I want to be a part of that, and so I just started doing it.
All right. Well, that's a good answer.
Yeah.
All right. So what I mean, you guys have talked about what you're doing, but who inspired you, or what inspired you? And we'll start with you, Ashley, too. We're going to go back and forth like this so that we're not putting the same person on the spot. But who inspired you
To start.
to start?
So last year at Origins, which was also Ohio State, I got to meet Kyle, Hannah Doyle, he's a few other Twitch streamers who were streaming that convention, and then we were all hanging out at one of their houses later on a stream, and they invited me to come hang out with them, and I was like, this is really fun. So they kind of all friendly bullied me into starting my own channel. So all of them.
I think originally just a puzzle again was our dear Karen. And then what inspired me, I think, I also homeschool my kids, so I'm home a lot with them. And I was noticing all the puzzle accounts that I was friends with didn't really have their face on it, there wasn't a lot of like funny reels. There was a few accounts that were making them. So I think I just was like, I'm gonna do something different that I haven't seen yet a lot of on Instagram, and put my face put my face on the videos and just to have fun with it. And it's also just a good, because I don't like to video myself, it's just really funny. So it's a growing thing for me to be like, I'm gonna do it and I'm gonna make it, and I'm not gonna care about my hair if it's everywhere, and I'm just gonna be myself. And so, yeah, I think that's what got me going.
As far as like making puzzle content, I wasn't really following anybody, but I was really into BookTube. And so that's where I was like, well, I really can't talk about books because I'm not very good about that, the synopsis and all that thing. But I was like, I do like puzzles, so I'll at least do something that I know I can talk about. So that's why I went puzzle route, but I wasn't really following anyone. As far as now, of course, Karen and all these ladies are definitely inspiring. And then just my subscribers have been commenting like what they want to see is like, I'm excited to do what they want to see. I mean, to try new puzzles, or I have a gumball machine that all my to-do list is in that I like roll and get whatever random puzzle it is for the day. And I mean, that's what I've been doing. It's super fun.
Yeah, I mean, I guess mine goes, again, all the way back to 2008. I had just watched the entire first year of John and Hank Green's YouTube channel. They were, very early pioneers in blogging back in the day. So I watched all of those, and also back then, I was very into the Harry Potter community, which is a totally different place now, but back then it wasn't what it is now. And so a lot of the people from that community also became sort of the early YouTube community, and so I saw all the people I knew through that community doing it, and I kind of joined in, and that started my journey there.
Awesome. Okay. So we'll switch gears a little bit and talk a little bit about, I mean, you've got growing channels. Karen, you have a lot going on. What kind of pressure comes with creating that online content? We'll start with you.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot. The way that I think about it sometimes is, that scene in Office Space where he has, like 20 bosses, and each one wants something different from him? I basically have, 300,000 bosses, every person who comments. Sometimes I'll get 2 comments in a row saying completely opposite things. Being like, I love your music, I hate your music. You can't please everyone. So yeah, I mean, you just have to, weigh what you want to do based on, for me, since I do it as a job, based on, what is going to get views and pay the bills, and then also, sort of stay true to who you are without listening too much to all of the chatter on the internet. Although I'm very lucky, I will say, the vast majority of my commenters are very nice and, no problems, and say really interesting things. And I've also filtered out a lot of words from my comment section, so the mean ones I really don't even see anymore.
Yeah.
I'm very similar to Karen, because they're both on YouTube. I mean, everyone has their own way to puzzle and how they want to watch their puzzles and what I mean, everyone has a different form of music that you like, so there's very conflicting views, but in general, puzzle people are nice people. So we're pretty lucky in that space. I forget what the question was.
The question was, and okay, this is my problem, this glasses on. What kinds of pressure come with online content?
Okay. And then I too, doing it as a job, I work for Puzzle Warehouse, and then we work with a few other brands, so also balancing their content with my content and other brands that want to participate on my channel. Because me, I'm always rooting for the small guy, and of course Puzzle Warehouse is huge, and you have these huge brands, which I also really love, but I also like rooting for the people that are just starting out too. So balancing all of it can be kind of challenging, so just trying to put it in my schedule, like where I can fit everyone in is how I can figure it out.
Okay, I also didn't know what question you're doing. I try not to put any pressure on myself just for the fun things that I post, whether it's videos or reviews of puzzles. But I do work for brands, and so there is a little bit of like a deadline that I have for that. And so I try to plan that out a little bit so that I'm not procrastinating and doing it the day of or the day before. But a lot of my content relies on natural light from our sliding glass doors, and so that also plays into it. Like, oh, it is very rainy and dreary here in Washington. I'm gonna have to wait till tomorrow, hopefully. So that navigating weather and lighting is hard. But there was one more thing I was gonna say. It's gonna come to me. No, it's not. It was about pressure.
I don't know. Here's the pressure right here, we're all staring at you. So,
I remember. Thank you, brain. Okay. I have learned to say no and not take on everything that comes my way, even if it sounds amazing. I have my priorities and the brands that I really love working for, and so they go first. And then if other things come, I just look at my schedule. I'm like, oh, and I say no so much now. At the beginning, I said yes to everything, and that wasn't the best idea. So I think saying no, staying authentic and true to yourself, and what you value is important.
Perfect.
Yeah, so very relatable, Jessa, to everything you said. Weather is a concern because I only have good lighting for like half of the day, and I generally stream in the evenings, and so I don't have good lighting. So whenever I do have a good day, it's like, oh, I should stream today. Like, do I have time? Like, so planning your streams can be a little bit stressful, and like sometimes at the end of the stream I'll be like, oh, I'll be on Tuesday. I'll see you guys then. And I don't. So sometimes I feel bad about that, but I don't know. Everyone's really nice and understanding, so even if I miss a time, it's fine. And then like, I don't know, other than that, the only pressure I really feel is when I'm speed puzzling. I'm doing it live and people are watching, so I feel pressured to do good. But yeah, so Twitch has this mechanism where you can bet channel points. It's not like real money or anything, but as you watch a stream, you earn channel points just from watching. So you'll get like 5 or 10 every minute or whatever. And then you can bet those channel points on polls. So I'll be like, will I beat this time? And then people can interact. And so when a lot of people have points riding on me doing well, I'm just like, oh, I gotta do this. They don't mean anything, but yeah.
So it's interesting, this isn't a question from the list, but some things inspired me that you guys were saying, and so I'm interested to know if we could come back to where we're going to start with Ashley. We can go back and forth. So what has changed in your content due to feedback or maybe brand influence?
I'm a Masterpieces affiliate, so I do a lot of Masterpieces puzzles now.
And I guess when I'm talking about feedback too, I mean like feedback on your feeds too, like what people who are watching you are saying too, as well as brand. But I'm combining it together because what Karen said and then what Emily said is kind of inspiring this. It's interesting to know like what has changed, what are you doing different?
I think there's a lot of variety on Twitch, at least when it comes to speed puzzlers versus casual puzzlers. Like there's some people who we'll do casual puzzles for like most of the day, and we all hang out in there while we're working, and then evening rolls around, and we have people in all different time zones, so we'll have a bunch of speed puzzle streams in the evening, and so like, I don't know, I feel like we don't get a whole lot of feedback in terms of like what kind of content we want, because each person kind of has their own thing what they're doing.
I don't think my content's really changed much. Maybe like I have a white table. And when I started, I call it our house flooded, so it's pre-flood and post-flood. So pre-flood it was kind of dull and brown shelving, and now I have white IKEA shelving and a white table. So the look of it has changed, but I don't think my style and my content has changed since I started.
For me, I feel like I took a little dabble in speed puzzling, but I still do it for fun because I really just come to meet counselors and have a good time. And I did a few videos on my channel. They're like, "We're not speed puzzlers. Please don't do that." So I'm like, perfect. I don't want to do speed puzzling content either. So I kind of veer away from that, even though I do come to the conventions. And then as far as Instagram, I just stopped caring. Like, I'm goofy, I'm weird, I'm dancing in my living room, like, I just don't care. And before, everything had to be like polished and scheduled and had everything pristine. And that's just not me in real life, so I don't want to be like that on Instagram either. So I just switched gears that way.
If I could just pop back in for a second, I just thought of something else. So also on Twitch, we have polls that we can do. So I will like bring out like 4 puzzles, and I'll do a poll like which puzzle do you want me to do next and stuff like that. So there is an interactive element while I'm live.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I've had to change that much because from the beginning, my content has always been totally family friendly, like totally brand safe, so they don't really have to worry about that kind of thing. Yeah, I mean, when you do a sponsored video or a social media post, they always send over a brief with all of the information that they want you to hit, and so obviously then you're saying specific things, but you know, if, as the creator, you can also push back on things if you don't necessarily agree with it. You know, it's a partnership.
Great. Okay, so we're going to take a couple more questions, and then I know people are dying to ask them questions. So I would say, I'm going to ask, how should competitors share content online in a way that builds community rather than comparison anxiety? And we'll start with Karen.
That's a great question, and I do sometimes wonder if, with how dramatic sometimes I edit the videos, if I do sort of feed into that culture a little bit. So, you know, going forward, especially with this event where my whole goal being here is more to have fun and not, you know, necessarily to be at the top, which I'm definitely not anymore. You know, I think I can maybe edit it in a way where it just seems a little more, you know, where you focus on the community and a little less on, you know, this person got first, second, and third. Although, you know, people watching at home, they do want to know where people placed. So, you know, it's kind of a tight, you know, it's like a balance to walk. But I think everyone knows that we're all friends. You know, it's a friendly competition. So even though we are competing, everyone can tell that, you know, we all support each other.
Honestly, even like competing as far as like followers on Instagram, like some people are like, "Oh, have you seen Karen's video?" And it's like, "Sure, I liked it." Like, it's not a competition between these guys, you know. We all have the same community and friends who follow us, and we support each other also. So that's really nice. As far as like, oh, keep forgetting the question.
Oh, you have a cheat sheet. How building community.
Oh. Okay. And then as far as like, I don't really do speed puzzling on my channel, but I do like people to feel inspired by any piece count. And I've had comments in the past be like, "Wow, you don't do 1,000 pieces. Like, you're true puzzlers don't look at the box, 2,000, 1,000 pieces." I was like, no. There is no right way to puzzle. Everyone has their own thing. And so I want people to come to my channel being accepted for whatever stage they're at. So really to inspire. And I also have a Facebook group too, and everyone's just like showcasing all piece counts and whatever they're working on. And some are crazy, huge, really challenging puzzles, and others are like, "This is my first 100 piece ever. Thank you so much for joining." I love all virtual parts of that.
Can I say one more thing? I also just wanted to mention that when I'm doing videos about events where it's more than just me or more than like me and maybe one other person, you know, when I'm talking about potentially, like, there are hundreds of people here who could show up in the videos. I edit and I choose my words very carefully because I know how big of an audience, these videos get, and I take that really seriously. I don't want to, sometimes there are incidents that later lead to different rule changes, but I never want to pin that on the competitor. It's more about, this is the situation that happened, and here's how we're all working together to fix it,
I think as far as content creators and the world of content creation, I think to just be your authentic self is the best way to not compete with others, because you're just shining who you are, whether it's dancing around in your puzzle room, or I don't know, if you like bright colors or you're more simple. I don't know, just being who you are is the best way to shine, and not compare to others, and just be yourself. I'm always forgetting my second thought. I have the first thought, and then the second one's like,
It's fine. It's gonna come, just give me a second.
that's so big, it's not gonna come. Oh my word, this is my mom brain and my puzzle brain.
We can always come back to you too, so just,
It's gonna
it's gonna
come.
So now the pressure comes, we're all gonna stare at you.
I know, don't look at me, everybody look over at the wall over there. No, I'm gonna let you, and then if I remember it, I'll get it back.
So I'm definitely guilty of comparing myself to other people when I'm like looking at predictions for what is my time going to be on this puzzle. I like look on myspeedpuzzling.com and I'm like, what did other people get on this, to try and gauge how I'm going to do on it, because I'm really bad at judging how I'm going to do on a puzzle. But once I have done the puzzle, and regardless of like how I did, I always like talk through the puzzle on stream and be like, this is how I went about doing this puzzle, and how I tackled this section, what I was struggling with, and things like that. And really, at the end of the day, it's like just competing with yourself. So I was just trying to do better the next time, and I always encourage other people to do that as well. And everyone in the Twitch community is very much with that same mindset. So we have people all across the speed spectrum on Twitch, and we're just always very happy with as long as that person is happy with how they're doing and they're improving the way that they want to, then everyone's happy for them. We're not trying to compare to each other. We're just just doing it for fun.
I mean, I think with something like this where you have very set numbers, or it's not subjective, it's not like gymnastics where there's a panel of judges giving you a score. It's like, I did it in this time, you did it in this time. It's very objective. And so I don't think there's anything wrong with comparing your times to other people's times, as long as, no one wants to watch you beat yourself up. If you do it a little worse than you expected, you can be like, all right, this specific thing is what I can work on. And, maybe I did this other part really well, and here's how I can learn from that.
I feel like I'm going in a completely different direction with my brain. But I'm involving community, like in your posts, and being relatable. So like one time I was doing a puzzle, and I don't know why I was doing this. I think it was coffee in a mug right in my lap, and the puzzle was to here, and I was bringing pieces over, and one just flew and landed right in my coffee cup. And so I rescued it. I dove right in and grabbed that piece. It was hot coffee, but I sacrificed my hand. It was fine. And the piece held up. It was a good quality piece, thank goodness. But I posted about it, and people, I don't know how many people responded like, oh my word, I do that all the time. And so things like that, and it's so silly, but people love it because they also do it.
I feel like in general, showing your fails is just as exciting as seeing someone succeed. Like picking up a puzzle and it falls, it crumbles completely. Like it's just as fun to watch as someone who does it correctly. So
Yeah, we have all have relatable, Mine is that I kept losing pieces, and then one day I went to my favorite cardigan, and I put my hand in my pocket, and I had 5 different pieces from 5 different puzzles. I think maybe 4 different puzzles, but it's like, oh, well, yes. So when people are losing puzzles, I'm like, if you wear cardigans, go check yours. Everybody's got those relatable. Yes, sweaters are dangerous. Yes, it's true. Or if you have a cat, then we all know all about that. Okay, so last question. What advice would you give someone thinking about starting puzzle content? And we'll start.
Okay, I mean, they could have given me a panel just about this topic, and I could have talked about it for like 40 minutes on my own.
Take it away, Karen.
So I think the thing with social media, if you want to build, a following and make a job out of it and become a public figure, essentially, you have to realize that at the beginning, nobody cares about you, nobody knows you, you are a stranger to them, and so you have to think about what value are you adding to their life, what are you teaching them? If you are just starting to say something really personal about yourself, nobody cares because they don't know you unless you have like a huge engaging personality. And then the other thing is you have to sort of meet people where they are. If you're trying to appeal to the general public and the people who aren't already in the puzzle world, you have to think about what information do they already have. People know what a jigsaw puzzle is. They know they know about the concept of a really difficult jigsaw puzzle, but they don't know what Springbok is, or they don't know all these different brands. And so I know that for me, I have gotten comments where it drives people crazy that I don't title my videos solving XYZ Springbok puzzle from 1974. And I'm like, a random person looking at that is gonna have no idea what that means. They're not gonna click on it. What I can do is call it, I tried the hardest vintage puzzle I've ever seen. And that's something that people understand and they wanna, you're letting them in without them needing to already have all of this information.
Well, what Karen said is like ditto, but I also want to point out just the incorporation of brands, because that's of course what everyone wants to join the puzzle community because they want free puzzles. And I feel like you have to know what values you want to honor, and don't say yes to every single brand that comes your way, especially if it's like a new brand you've never heard of. They have like 10 followers on Instagram, all their images are AI. You have to wonder, should I accept that? Because getting a free puzzle isn't normally the best thing if it doesn't meet where you want to be in the presence of your audience. So if you're only producing or showing puzzles that are all these brands that are just like questionable, they might not want to watch you anymore because they're like, well, she just doesn't care. She's all about money or all about the free puzzle. So having a presence with your community, knowing like what you stand for, but also like back up yourself if you're talking to a brand and they are forcing you to say certain things, or they want you to send puzzles for like this glowing review. I'm very transparent to be like, I'm going to be honest. If you want the good feedback and the bad feedback, I'm going to provide both. And the ones who don't want the bad feedback will stop following you, which is the brand I don't want to work with anyway. So you have to know where your limits are, and a free puzzle usually isn't worth it if it doesn't meet what you want to do.
There's no such thing as anything that's totally free. Even if they're sending you something without you paying money, there are certain expectations that come along with that.
Yeah.
If brands just start sending you stuff and you never show them and never feature them, that's not really fair, to their side either. And also, if you're going to start doing that, you really have to educate yourself about disclosures and FTC and making sure that everything is above board.
Those are all the advice tips. I would say just do it. Like, I didn't go in with a plan, and I just wanted to document puzzles, and I started having fun with it. And so if it's bringing you joy and having fun, just do it. Make videos, don't make videos, take pictures, and it's okay if they're not perfect. Like, you'll learn along the way. It's never going to be perfect, but it's okay to not have the perfect setup, not have the perfect shelving behind you. Just work with what you have.
So if you want to start streaming on Twitch, you kind of have a built-in audience already, because we're all going to watch your stream. All of the Twitch streamers are going to watch your stream. We're all going to encourage you, and we don't care how you start. We're always very encouraging. We give you tips. We have a whole Discord of a Discord channel for helping people set up their stream and all of that. So just do it. I was very nervous to start at first because, like you were saying, I was like, I want everything to be perfect. And sometimes when you're posting on Instagram or an edited video on YouTube, there's a lot of pressure to get it right. And with streaming, I just hit play and I just start talking to people, and there's a lot less pressure to like have a finished product, I guess. So it's a lot more chill, I think. So it's fun. You should do it.
Well, thank you guys. So now we're gonna put you on the hot seat. We'll have some questions here. Who wants to be the first? Here you go.
Thank you guys for being here. I don't recognize the last two. These first two I recognize because I watch a lot of your videos and stuff. And Karen, I started with you, and I watched it. My husband.
You're a gateway drug.
Colleen Courage was.
Hey, I could be into a lot worse, and I'm into puzzles. And, so we started about a year ago getting into puzzles and stuff, and watching you first, and then I picked up on Emily and some other people and stuff. I really enjoy that, and I'm gonna look you up, and I'm gonna look. Twitch seems like it's gonna be a really young kind of thing. I don't even know how you get onto Twitch or whatever that is.
We have people of all ages. We have people of all ages.
Okay.
All backgrounds.
Instagram, somebody said, what's your Instagram? I was like, I don't know. I had an account, but just like, I did get into it. I was very happy, so I'll be able to follow you. YouTube? Yeah. All right, y'all are stuck. But I did, since you've been in the business longer, Karen, you've been in since 2008, I knew that from watching you and everything. Can you tell us just really quickly how you got together with Ravensburger? I mean, that's a big deal, I would think. You know, I love Ravensburger puzzles and such, and I just was wondering how, I know you talked about how you get into it and doing the different things and the responsibilities to a sponsor and everything, but Ravensburger is a big deal. I mean, I was wondering how you got into that agreement.
Yeah, I mean, they are, but also the puzzle world is a small world, so they definitely, you know, took notice of me when I started getting a lot of views, because there weren't that, you know, especially a few years ago, there weren't as many people doing it, and not especially reaching a pretty wide audience. So I'm pretty sure the first thing we did together, don't quote me on this, but a very early thing we did was they sponsored me to go to the 2022 Nationals, which was my first in-person real speed puzzling competition. And then I think it was after that we did the puzzles. But I mean, essentially they just emailed me, were like, are you interested in working with us? And here's how we can work together. Sorry, it's not a forward-saying story.
Yeah, but you got to go to the Ravensburger company out in Germany, and I'm thinking, oh my God, I want to be there with her. Yeah, it's so cool, you know, going out there, and the things that you get to do with being sponsored, and you're a very good person to publicize their company name and everything. So I do admire all the hard work that you have to do for that and all, but pretty fun to watch, and you know, I enjoy watching that. And I did have a second question. Do you live in like a 5,000 square foot apartment? Because I know you have a ton of puzzles. I don't ever always see them all, but I know you go through a lot. And like, I have our 2 guest rooms are full of puzzles. My girls can't come visit me because they have nowhere to sleep because I have puzzles on the bed.
It's not quite that.
It's close.
I mean, I think we can all pretty much relate to that. Something that I did recently, which I haven't really talked about online because I haven't, you know, really showed how I rearranged everything. But I was rearranging the studio and I added the shelves out to my dining room behind the big table. I meant to order 3 IKEA Billy bookshelves, and I accidentally put in the order twice, and I got 6.
That was a sign. That was a sign.
It actually worked out great. So then I put the 3 where I originally meant, and then when I rearranged the studio, which is the second bedroom in the apartment, I had space for them, and now I have so much more space for all my puzzles.
Thank you.
I mean, does anyone else have any tips for puzzle storage?
No, I feel like it's just gotten worse and worse. Like, I thought I was doing good, and I was like decluttering for my room. Dave's like, babe, you're just filling the garage. And I was like, oh. And so then I go to the garage, and we were like cleaning that up. I had like totes and totes worth. I was like, all right, I need to do something with this. Like, you quickly accumulate from the things that you buy for content, for what you want to do yourself, or the brands that are sending you stuff, and you're like, I ran out of space. So it's a challenge to, I mean, it's a good challenge if no one's complaining, but it's a lot of work to upkeep all the puzzles that you get.
Not to make anybody feel bad, but our last seminar with Donna Louise, she said she has 10 puzzles at any given time. She gets rid of them all. And I just couldn't believe that. I practically cried. But yes, she hurts with them. She puts some on her walls that she loves, but man, talk about restraint. So, all right, let's take another question now. There's Scott.
I also wanted to say thank you to all of you because Jigsaw Puzzle, I work full-time, I part-time homeschool my daughter, and it's just really something that I love, but honestly, starting to watch Karen and Emily and everything, it just really inspired me to get back into that hobby, much to my husband's chagrin when more boxes show up with more puzzles, but you know, I love it and it's so relaxing, so I did want to say thank you to all of you guys for your content, but I'm just curious how you come up with new ideas for content. Is it suggestions from people who comment in your community? Is it you just kind of have a running list and whenever you think of something you like record it somewhere to think of it, making it into content later on? I was just curious if you could talk a little bit about that.
Oh, I love a good content schedule. So I have a list a mile long,
Okay.
and it doesn't help that I keep agreeing to come to events like this, and then I end up with all this footage that's going to take a million years to edit, and everything else gets pushed back. But yeah, I mean, I just have an Excel spreadsheet. I've written out every single Sunday, so I usually post on Sundays for the entire year. And then I map out which videos I definitely want to make and which ones kind of have a deadline, you know, or are connected to an event like this. And then, you know, which ones I'm most passionate about and where I can slot them in. And then I have a separate list of everything else that I want to make for when I finish the ones with a deadline, which never seems to happen.
I feel like for me, I'm always inspired by the puzzle. You know, sometimes I have really great ideas and I'll have like a list like Karen, but oftentimes that I buy the puzzle and then the person who buys it and the person who's doing it are two different people. Like I'm super like bold, like yeah, I can do this, and I get it in problem, and I was like that makes no sense. And so for me, I really just try to be excited about the content I'm going to make, because if you are dreading doing the puzzle, like yeah, we can all kind of relate to that. I'm doing a puzzle that's tricky, but if I'm not having fun, like you're not gonna have fun watching me either. So making sure the puzzles that I'm doing are ones I want to do and that people are excited about too. So
I do sometimes write ideas down, but I'm more spontaneous. Like, the weather looks great. Ooh, I like this puzzle. Ooh, we should do this. It's very, yeah. It's very just for the moment, spontaneous. I think I can make something and it sounds fun. I'll doom scroll and I'll see something that's like book talk or something. I'm like, oh, that would be really fun for puzzles. So I get inspired by watching other videos too.
Twitch is definitely more spontaneous. There are some things I do plan out, like I do online competitions, and if I do them live, I will do them on stream so that people can watch me compete, and those are scheduled events, or something like this. I'll be streaming, but a lot of the stuff is just spur of the moment. I'll pick out a few puzzles that are like maybe on theme to what's happening. So like before this, I was practicing a lot of Ravensburger puzzles, and before Winter Carnival, I was practicing a lot of Puzzle Twist and Hobble Hills and things like that. But I usually just, you know, pick a few puzzles and I ask chat like, hey, what puzzle do you want me to do today? So it's a lot more casual and less planned out on Twitch.
Something else, which is, again, kind of a tip for people who want to do this themselves, is that, and not just for puzzling, but other people that I know who do YouTube, is that often they'll start with the title and the thumbnail and work backwards from there. So you think about, you know, all these ideas that you have, try to come up with really good titles for them, and then whichever one seems to be the most clickable and the one that, you know, the one that you think will perform the best for the amount of work that you're putting into it, then that's the one that you decide to make.
One more question, and then we're gonna let these fine ladies go.
This is just a personal question. I'm just wondering, how often in your lives do you guys just pull out a puzzle and just do it for fun, and it's not filmed and no one ever sees you do the puzzle? Like, it's just a secret thing that you're doing. It's not on your channel.
I rarely ever do a puzzle by myself nowadays. I'm like almost always streaming.
Yeah.
Every day. Every day. I do my mini puzzles. My kids like to puzzle. We have puzzles everywhere. We're doing them for fun. Yeah, and I don't even keep track anymore. I started, they had the puzzle tracker. My first year on Puzzlegram, I was like, I'm gonna do that. And then like shortly after, I was like, I cannot. So I don't even know how many puzzles I do. Way too many, but it's good.
I mean, for me, it is a job now to do puzzles, but I know that when I need to turn off the camera and just do it by myself. And I mean, I do 300 puzzles plus a year, so I mean, a lot of those aren't filmed. It's just me in my living room or in my puzzle space, and you just have to try to turn people off sometimes, or you know, I'm really not vibing with talking to a camera. I'm just going to do it on my own. So I mean, yeah, those ones where I still want it to be a hobby. I don't want it to be all work.
I do keep track of all of the puzzles that I do and what purpose I did them for. And for the last couple years, about half of the puzzles that I did were just for fun. Although now I have started saving those in a big stack, and then I will do a video just reviewing all of them at once. But I'm not filming me solving them. I just take a few progress photos if I think of it.
All right, thank you. This was wonderful. That's some great insights. And you know what I really took from here too is like we have an expression in Minnesota, we all do better when we all do better. And for you to encourage other people to make content, it's just gonna make this community grow. And you know, I wanna thank you all for helping that happen, because we wouldn't have amazing events like that if it wasn't for women like you who are doing this amazing outreach and engagement throughout the world at this point. So thank you.
Yes, and I've got little nifty gifts for you. You're all famous, so like this is the only chance I'm gonna have to do it my section. Alright. Just FYI, I'll probably put it on the Minnesota JPA. No, you guys, no, that's Veronica is great. Big pieces and little pieces. Alright. Awesome. Oh, and then my side. Oh, yeah. Super.
That person who said they don't know how to use Twitch is like literally me.
I know how to say.
Hello. That's yeah. Yeah, the cameras. That's the Twitch people.
Oh, the Twitch people, okay.
Yeah. Hello. Oh no, there's an ad break right now.
You don't have a Sharpie, do you?
Oh no.
Let's ask for Sharpie.
Yeah.
Double checking to make sure everybody's getting their place. I know what to be open.
Do any of y'all have a Sharpie?
I have just a pen. I was going to see if y'all would sign my puzzle.
I have one.
Look at you, Mom.
All the things. Yeah, well, we can start. Okay, we're just
Anywhere.
on
I don't
this
care. That pencil's not going anywhere. It's going to my house.
This is your puzzle, your prelim puzzle?
I don't compete. I just came. This is my first. This was of you guys. I got really interested in puzzles.
There was
Can I get your signature real quick on my puzzle? Would that be okay?
I'm sorry.
I
didn't realize you were doing it
quick. That has some photos.
Thank you. I really enjoyed watching you. Thank you. My favorite is your 8,000 things. Oh, yeah. I know they have 2 4,000. Is that the same as they buy? I've never seen before called White Bird soda.
Yeah, it came in the 2 bags, right? When we mixed them? I'm trying to remember.
No. You did the 8